Oh, hey. Welcome to another edition of Socrates Explains Everything. My name is Socrates. I like to explain things. Today I want to talk a little bit more about Ukraine and the swings of the battle, the ebb and flow of war, and what's kind of happening at the moment. You know, Russia basically is lost on the western and northern parts of the invasion of Ukraine and had to pull back after losing lots and lots of men and equipment, wasting lots and lots of ammunition, and losing just tons and tons of logistical support. And of course Ukraine took a bit of a beating as well, but it looks like the Russians took much the worst of it. In the end, this is becoming a war of logistics, supply chains, and being able to reinforce yourself. And Ukraine's been preparing for this war for 8 years now, since the Russians invaded the east part of the country back around 2014. And Russia, on the other hand, already had multiple long of these same kind of horrible wars where they basically slaughter everybody. You know, they did it in Chechnya, but the world really doesn't pay attention because no one can go to Chechnya; it's just too dangerous. You know, they did it in Georgia, but it was pretty small. And in Aleppo in Syria, they did it again, but unfortunately, the world just doesn't pay enough attention to it because I think that the Muslim world is such a quagmire that everyone's terrified to get so involved. Ukraine was a very Western country. In fact, the Russian soldiers apparently are angry that the Ukrainians have such a better life than they did. They have running water and things. And when you geo-map the location for a lot of these Russian soldiers, they live in a really, really, really undeveloped part of Russia. No roads, and the buildings look a lot like they do in Ukraine now. But the thing is this, Russia's been spending vast amounts of ammunition destroying the entire city. It takes a lot of ammunition to blow up an entire city, every building. Ukrainians are blowing up Russians and Russian tanks. It's much easier ammo and logistic-wise. So I think Russia is already losing this logistics war. Their method of basically, killing everybody and just scorched earth it's not a good policy as far as human rights-wise, but it's also a really bad policy if you're losing the logistics battle. So I think this vast quantity of ammunition and equipment that they're losing, it's irreplaceable. A lot of this stuff was built in Ukraine. That ship to Moscow, the Moskva that was sunk, that was built in Ukraine. So Ukraine built most of the heavy equipment for Russia. So at this point, I think Putin's burning himself out. I'm hoping to see the tide turn and the entire Donbass and Luhansk region is taken back by Ukraine. I think Crimea should be taken back as well. And I'm waiting to see the Chechens rise back up once Putin's successfully weakened. I think the Chechens are going to throw off their own little Putin-backed dictator and get their own freedom back again. Anyway, you can't hold back people but so long. Freedom's a little bit like the tides. It comes and it goes, but man, oh man, it's got power behind it.